Madam, please.
Would the ambassador like to say something?
I would like to hand over the floor to His Excellency Mr. Vinay Kumar.
No, ma'am. You can start.
Friends, let me start by thanking all of you for joining us today on this weekend. I know how sacrosanct weekends are normally, but your presence here clearly shows the interest that you have in the issue, and also the interactions that honorable members of parliament have had with the Russian authorities. As you would have seen from the timeline and the press statements that we have issued over the last 2 days, the honorable members have had meetings in Federation Council and Gosduma. They also met Deputy Foreign Minister Mr. Rudenko. Yesterday they visited RISS, Russian Institute of Strategic Studies, and then they had interactions with a group of think tanks, academicians representing a cross-section of institutions, academic as well as social science research in Russian Federation in Moscow. This press interaction is the last interaction that they have before they leave for the next destination today, later in the day. As you would have seen, India and Russia, of course, are strategic partners for decades. The joint fight that all of us as civilized nations have against the menace of terrorism. So with these words, I would thank all of you. The Honorable Leader of the Delegation will make a few remarks, and then you can ask questions to her and to other members of Parliament. Which we all would answer. Following that, we have some Indian cuisine which you would certainly enjoy. Thank you. Ma'am, the floor is yours.
Good morning, and thank you all for being here. And it's a pleasure to be here in Russia with my delegation. And this delegation has been sent by the government of India and our Prime Minister to engage with Russia, which has been a very important and strategic partner and a good friend of India. For over the decades, we've worked together on many issues, and we've maintained very close relationships, whether be it diplomatic relationships or strategic relationships or trade. When it comes to cultural exchanges, we have grown together closer, and it's an honor to be sent to Russia, and I'd like to introduce the delegation also to you. To my left is Mr. Rajiv Rai, MP from Member of Parliament from the Lok Sabha, Samajwadi Party. A senior member, Mr. Premchand Gupta from he has been in Rajya Sabha for over 30 years, and he comes from the Rashtriya Janata Dal. To my left is, to my right is Captain Brijesh Chowda from the Lok Sabha, and he is a member of the ruling party, the BJP. And next to him is Mr. Ashok Mittal. He is from the AAP party and from the Rajya Sabha. The Rajya Sabha is the upper house and the Lok Sabha is the lower house in India. And next to him is Mr. the Ambassador and Mr. Puri, a very senior diplomat, and he's been very important to this delegation. We've had the opportunity to meet the Russian Federation Council, and the meeting was headed by the first Deputy Chairperson of the Federation Council Committee on International Affairs, Mr. Andrei Denisov. And our second meeting was with the Russian State Duma, headed by Mr. Leonid Slutsky, and also the parliamentary leader of the LDPR party. And our third meeting was with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We met the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Russia, Mr. Andrei Rudenko, and our next meeting was with the former Prime Minister of the Russian Federation, Mr. Mikhail Fradko, and he heads the Russian Institute of Strategic Studies. And after that, we met with the Russian think tank here of very distinguished personalities and thinkers, professors and writers. And our exchange of ideas, and it was a very great opportunity to explain the stand of India. I'm sure you're all aware of the recent happenings in India. On April 22nd, 26 tourists in Kashmir were shot dead by terrorists who had infiltrated into Indian territory, terrorists from Pakistan, and they shot 26 people dead in front of their families, in front of the children. And I think it shook the conscience of the world. But in spite of one of the terror organizations which are harbored in Pakistan, they claimed responsibility for the crime, for the murder, twice. But still Pakistan chose to protect them in the the United Nations Security Council, and they did not allow them to name the terrorist organization which had claimed responsibility for the crimes which had taken place on Indian soil. And they went ahead and continued to spread false propaganda. So finally, India had no choice but to respond. But when India responded, we responded responsibly. We made sure that no civilians were affected. The military bases were unharmed. We only targeted hubs where the terrorists were harbored and where they were being trained. And we also passed the message to the military and the government in Pakistan, and they continued to retaliate, targeting gurudwaras, temples, residential areas where Indian civilians lived, and also our military bases. again, when they try to target India again, then we foil their attempts, and finally Pakistan understood that they cannot win this war against India. And now they've said they are fine with stopping as these attempts to have a war with India, and they are prepared for peace talks. But India is very clear that we will not come to the table for peace talks, and when we have our peace talks, Pakistan cannot continue attacking us shrouded in terrorism and cover themselves saying that we have nothing to do with it and these are terrorist groups. Because we've been able to trace, there are proofs, we are not saying anything because we have anything against anybody. India has always stood for peace with Pakistan. India has worked towards it. Our prime ministers have made efforts, honest efforts to bring peace between the neighboring nations and especially Pakistan. But Pakistan has continued to train, harbor, fund terrorist organizations which have come into India, and just not India. We are not only talking about India. There have been many incidents around the world where these terrorists have been traced back to Pakistan, and they've been Pakistani nationals also. So at this point, we've come to Russia, and the government of India has sent delegations to many countries to explain the stand of India, to make sure that false propaganda is not spread, and also to ensure and make the message very loud and clear that India will not watch terrorism, we will not accept terror attacks, we will not continue to keep quiet, and we will not be blackmailed by a country which says we have nuclear weapons. We want peace, but we want honest, true peace. We want to protect our citizens, our innocent citizens, and we want to ensure that there is real peace between the nations so that the countries can go on to development, go on to ensure that the people there live peacefully. And we do not have to continue what is happening between us, but the attempt to ensure that there is peace has to be from both sides. We've come here to seek Russia's support because Russia has always stood with us, and we want Russia to understand what is happening in our soil. We want Russia's support. We want Russia to stand with us when we are fighting against terrorism. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we are open for questions. For questions, please raise your placards when you have to ask a question. Once it is indicated, the number on your placard, I request you to please give out your name and the name of your media group, and then ask your question. Also, I request you to please keep the questions short.
Hi, I'm Ksenia from RT. My question is, your mission has been labeled as a diplomatic push by the Indian media. Why is it important? Why is the timing of it is important? And have you achieved, do you think you have achieved your goals?
So the timing is very important because of what happened. I mean, India has been hurt and we want to talk about it. We do not want to suffer in silence as we've done in the past. And it's not the first time India has been hurt. And we've also seen that just a few days before the attack, a very senior and highly placed military general from Pakistan, the words which they had used was completely pointing to terror attacks and justifying it. So, more than that, there is a lot of propaganda against India. We've seen that Pakistan is reaching out and spreading false narrations and narratives. So we want to clear that. We want to tell the world the truth. And I think we have been able to achieve that. And we know, and we've come to understand through our discussions and deliberations with the lawmakers here, that Russia stands with India in fighting terrorism. And they also understand that this does not stop with India alone. Because these terror attacks, I mean, we've seen, I can give you examples of what happened to an Indian Airlines flight, which was hijacked on the 24th of December, 1999. And we've lost lives there, and hijacking and crashing of 9 civilian planes in the US, the tube bombings in London, and there are many cases. We have a long list. So it is just not India which is affected. The world has to be a safer place, and Russia completely and totally stands with us in ensuring that the world should be a safer space, because Russia has also been through attacks. So we stand together, and that is what we've achieved by this delegation.
13, please.
13?
Yes.
First of all, greetings to all the representatives of parliamentary parties. We are very glad to see you here. And my name is Anastasia Kostina, and I represent Izvestia newspaper. Thank you. I would like to ask you the following, especially Ms. Kanimozhi. In February, the Speaker of Russian Parliament Lower House, Vyacheslav Volodin, called for creation of a legislative basis for further development of relations with India. As for now, are there some progress in this, or any particular decisions concerning these legislative bases? For example, in fighting terrorism. Thank you.
Yes, I think our parliament and the Lok Sabha speaker from India was also here in Russia. So the talks are on, and I think the work is in progress. And I do not have the details with me now, but I'm sure that there will be very positive outcomes very soon.
Thank you.
29, please.
Sergei Strogan, Kommersant Daily. In his first address to the nation after a terrorist attack, Prime Minister Modi made himself clear that after this attack, Indian government would make no definition between so-called non-state actors and state actors. We media personalities here know that till recently, Pakistani side was very evasive in explaining terrorist acts. They said this is none of our business. We condemn that, but this is non-terrorist act. So, in practical terms, what this fundamental shift would change in relations with Pakistan? And the second question is, in your interaction with dignitaries, with MPs, how this new shift is perceived by your colleagues here? Do you think that Russia would be able to subscribe for this tough stand, since Russia is trying to balance something? Thank you.
The change in Indian stand, we have all, I'd like to just go back, because all our leaders, right from our former Prime Minister, the most respected Shri Jawaharlal Nehru, and Shri Vajpayee, and now our current Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, they've all made attempts, and they've to bring permanent peace between India and Pakistan. We've always taken the lead, but unfortunately, when there are peace talks going on, we've also been hurt because of these terrorist attacks in different parts of India. And every time we've been able to trace it back to Pakistan, either with Pakistan residents, or they're being trained in Pakistan, or the government has supported them. So finally, I think it's time that we are not going to accept any excuses, and we are going to call a spade a spade. So India has said, and our Prime Minister has very clearly said that terrorism and sponsored terrorism are not two different things. That has been made very clear. So we want Pakistan to make sure that they will not be supporting, they will not be giving space to terror activities or these organizations in their soil. And I think, every country reaches out to many different countries for many reasons, and that is the way the world is going. So that is perfectly fine by us. We want Russia to stand with us when we are fighting terrorism. And we both speak the same language when it comes to terrorism. So I totally believe and understand and trust that Russia stands with us.
Thank you.
23.
नमस्कार, मेरा नाम अलिसा है आरती, और हमारे हिंदी वाले दर्शकों के लिए मैं हिंदी में एक सवाल पूछूंगी। तो हमने देखा है कि भारत ने रूसी मिसाइल प्रणाली S-400 का सफल प्रयोग किया था ऑपरेशन सिंदूर में, और क्या इस प्रकार के सहयोग रूस और भारत के बीच सैन्य सहयोग की क्या संभावना है भविष्य में? धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद। आपका क्वेश्चन मिलिट्री से है। आपका क्वेश्चन मिलिट्री से है, और मिलिट्री के डोमेन में हम ज़्यादा नहीं बोलते हैं, बट ये ज़रूर कह रहे हैं कि इंडिया और रशिया का जो कोऑपरेशन है बहुत पुराना है, डिकेड पुराना है, और सही S-400 का सही इस्तेमाल हुआ। हमने बहुत सारे उनके मिसाइल को नाकाम किया, और जिस तरह से हमारा गहरा रिश्ता है, हमें लगता है कि भविष्य में चलता रहेगा, आगे बढ़ता रहेगा। और रशिया में कल हम बहुत सारे डेलीगेट से बात, सारे हाई ऑफिसर से बात किया, सबने सपोर्ट किया। एक क्वेश्चन जो उधर से आया था, if you have permission can I quickly add something? The gentleman who asked, our stand did not change overnight when our Prime Minister said nothing more, will not target, will not differentiate between state-sponsored terrorism and state actor and non-actor. We have been suffering for decades. Last 3 decades India has suffered. And every time we have tried to go to them and talk to them. We have had several examples. If you remember 99, our then Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee went there in Pastu Lahore. And when we were in the Lahore, they were introducing our territory in Kargil. So, as ma'am said, talk and terror will not go together. Problem is with Pakistan Army. Let me make it very clear. The civilian government in Pakistan, what I feel or what we feel is a puppet government. And we have example of right from Mr. Bhutto till Shahbaz Sharif and now Imran Where is there. Can you get any example a loser army chief will get a field marshal, will be decorated with a field marshal? So this is the way the army behaves there, and Pakistan army has to realize that they cannot go on hurting us and we will be going to their civilian government and say, come, we want to talk. Only condition would be, and this is not the Prime Minister or ruling party, this is 1.4 billion of people of India has the same sentiment that talking to this government, unless they make a fundamental change in their system, where civilian government has authority, there is no point talking to them and keep hurting ourselves. So the only condition is they have to dismantle, they have to disassociate. And why we came to Russia? Because we see Russia is also going through the same pain. Russia has been also suffering with the terrorism. So they understand us better. And with that expectation and hope we came here, that our pain will be understood by Russian authorities and they will stand by with us. And we are thankful to the Russian authorities with whom we were in. They said no compromise on terrorism or full, we are with you in all solidarity and all our support will be there with India to combat terrorism. Thank you.
आपका जो प्रश्न है मिलिट्री कॉपरेशन के बारे में, भारत का एक पुराना रिश्ता है रशिया के साथ, जो मिलिट्री स्ट्रैटेजिक डिप्लोमेटिक तरीके से जो साल ब साल रिजल्ट गेटिंग स्ट्रेंथन। तो ऑपरेशन सिंदूर में जो हमने S-400 मिसाइल्स का जो इस्तेमाल बहुत ही रिस्पॉन्सिबल तरीके से जो किया है, जो 9 टारगेट्स जो हमने चुन के जो टेरर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को डिस्ट्रॉय करने का जो हमारा ऑब्जेक्टिव था, उसको बहुत ही यशस्वी तरीके से हमने रशियन सिस्टम्स को इस्तेमाल करते हुए किया। हमें विश्वास है कि आगे भी रशिया भारत के साथ जो कोऑर्डिनेटेड एफर्ट के साथ और भी अच्छे सिस्टम्स डेवलप करेंगे और ये जो सिस्टम्स जो मिलिट्री कोऑपरेशन जो हमारे बीच में रहेगा, दिस इज ओनली विद द इंटरेस्ट ऑफ डिस्ट्रॉइंग टेरर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर। जो हमारा ऑब्जेक्टिव वेरी वेरी क्लियर कट है, टेरर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को डिस्ट्रॉय करने का। और our visit also is only taking this step forward to initiate a dialogue between different nations, and naturally Russia, since being a friend, to initiate this dialogue further so that we develop a global partnership in destroying terror infrastructure. And it's our effort to tell the world that Pakistan has been sponsoring and nourishing terror, and we are a victim of that terror for all these years. And the way this terror Pahalgam attack has happened is not something which mankind should accept. So this is time for the world to unequivocally condemn this terror act and also join in this effort which our Prime Minister has taken a lead in this.
Any questions?
Any more questions?
11.
My name is Eugene. I represent TV Bricks International Media Network. And my question is related to BRICS agenda, to all of you esteemed delegation. How would you describe the inter-parliamentary cooperation between India and other BRICS countries? Do you have any joint projects going on? Maybe you plan your next visit to other BRICS countries? Thank you.
No. This is a parliamentary delegation which has come here after the Pahalgam attack, and we have come here to explain what happened and to talk about terror attacks which continue in Indian soil, and to share the pain that we've lost lives, and also to give support to fight against terrorism, and also to send the message to the world that India cannot be blackmailed by saying that we are a country with nuclear weapons. So this is the message we take forward from the Prime Minister of India, from the Government of India, and from the people of India. The BRICS conference is completely, it doesn't come under us, or we are not directly going to be part of that. So that is a completely different agenda. So I don't think we can answer questions about that. But of course, the dignitaries from India, the Prime Minister, will address issues which are very important to us and among leaders of the nations which are there.
25, please. And then 23. 25.
Good afternoon, my name is Antoine Gongtsan. I'm from Sputnik, India, and I have a question in regards to your assessment of the state of India and Russia cooperation in the efforts of combating terrorism. My first question, why is it important for India to further increase its cooperation with Russia in combating terrorism? Where do you see the areas of the strongest synergy in this process and in these measures? And why Russia is a reliable partner in combating terror? Thank you.
Both India and Russia, we have been, together since long. Our friendship is tried and tested. Russia has come with us in time of difficulties. 1965 war, 1971 war, 1999 war. So India and Russia both are suffering from terrorism. Although is the whole world today, the whole world is suffering from terrorism. There is not, there is no exception. Terrorism is a disease, and this has to be tackled together. And Russia being our close friend and tried and tested friend, as I said earlier. So we naturally seek understanding with Russia to have joint cooperation with us. Although Russia has always stood with us, there is no doubt about it. But in this time of difficulty, it's better that we make people aware of our suffering. It's a state-sponsored terrorism from Pakistan. They never acknowledged that we have any base or any training center for any terrorist activities. They even did not acknowledge Osama bin Laden was in Pakistan. They never acknowledged. And ultimately the whole world came to know that he was hiding there under the Pakistani army. So 4 wars were imposed on India. 1947, 1948, 65, 1971, 1999. As our leader said, when our Prime Minister was visiting Lahore for peace, they attacked Kargil. So they are not they can't be believed unless they destroy all their terrorist hideouts, training centers. Nothing can be done. You see anywhere any terrorist attack, whether it is London or New York or Russia or India, there is a linkage to Pakistan. Pakistan-based terrorists operated, and they are linked somehow